I never thought I'd see the day a fake HOA cop would pull a gun on my own son in broad daylight. At first, I thought it was some kind of twisted prank, until I saw the fear in my boy's eyes and realized this man was dead serious. What he didn't know was that the real police weren't far behind, and the truth was about to blow up in his face. Before we dive in, comment which country you're watching from. Let's see how far this story travels. We moved into that cul-de-sac looking for peace. White fences, wide lawns, the kind of neighborhood pitch that sells itself. For a week, it felt like the brochure. Then, Karen arrived. Clipboard, clipped smile, and a knack for treating bylaws like holy writ. Her first correction wasn't a hello. It was an instruction about how to pull into a driveway. It was small, petty, and it set the tone. Jack, my son, is the kind of 10-year-old who builds worlds out of cardboard boxes and sugar. Marshmallow cannons, Nerf turrets, cardboard forts, loud, messy, harmless chaos. Karen hated that. Fines arrived for excessive noise, unauthorized structures, obstructed line of sight. Each note read like tiny warfare, bureaucratic, passive-aggressive, and designed to annoy. Then the men started showing up. 2 guys in matching windbreakers, calling themselves a compliance unit. Patches that looked like novelty badges, tactical gloves for trimming hedges. Came to take pictures of Jack's Defender 5000. They called it a violation, took more photos than necessary, and left like heroes. That night, I installed cameras. At 2:13 a.m., the motion feed lit up. 2 figures slipping along my property, one crouched at the hose, the other filming the garage window. They weren't inspecting, they were casing. Karen returned the next morning with a folder thick enough to intimidate a rhino, and a smug look. One more incident, she warned, and we escalate to formal enforcement. The escalation came quicker than I expected. A man named Daniels, chest out, hand near his hip, patch reading, HOA Patrol Risk and Response Unit, handed me a $250 citation for improper projectile deployment. Karen filmed, smiling across the street. The harassment stopped being about lawn care. It moved from letters to boots, from fines to men who believed their cosplay badges meant they could roam my yard. Jack stopped going outside. He stopped laughing. And when your kid shrinks in his own neighborhood, petty bureaucracy has become something else entirely. For 3 days, I thought maybe it had burned out, that Karen had moved on. I was wrong. Jack was in the driveway celebrating a spelling test with a makeshift backyard ambush, foam darts, a ramp, the remote-controlled truck he'd modified to hunk like a goose. He was laughing. I let myself listen. For a little while, the neighborhood felt normal again. Then, boots hit the concrete. Daniels came at us with the kind of stride someone practices in action movies. No knock, no announcement, just a man who preferred force to conversation. He didn't bring a clipboard this time. The object in his hand was black and heavy and unmistakable. He leveled it at my son like a judge passing sentence. Time narrowed to a single awful moment. My 10-year-old stunned and small, a toy controller clutched in his hands, a stranger pointing a real gun. I moved without thinking, between the barrel and my child, voice roaring for him to lower the weapon. Daniels twitched but didn't relent. My heart slammed against my ribs. Jack pressed into my back like he was trying to disappear into me, and the world seemed to slow in the way bad things do when you wish they weren't real. Then, sirens. 1 cruiser, then 2. Tires screaming, lights flaring, my brother's SUV rolled up hard, badge gleaming, calm and ferocious. "Drop it," he said. Daniels hesitated and then let the gun clatter to the grass. Deputies tackled him, zip ties and astonishing immediate relief. Jack folded into me, shoulders shaking, silent except for the small, cracked voice asking if he'd done something wrong. The arrest was only the start. Body cam footage recorded Daniels rambling about instructions. She told me to scare him. He confessed that Karen had asked him to handle the problem. That line reframed everything. Daniels wasn't a rogue loner. Someone on the HOA, someone with authority in that neighborhood, had weaponized the man with a fake badge and a real grudge against my kid. If you're enjoying this HOA story so far, don't forget to like and subscribe for more crazy HOA drama just like this. Once the gun was on the ground, the question changed from immediate danger to root cause. Who hired him and why? My background isn't flashy. Cybersecurity and investigations taught me how to follow money, logs, and files. I started pulling threads. In 48 hours, we had bank transfers, redacted invoices that weren't really redacted, a payment trail routing HOA enforcement fees into a personal consulting account linked to Karen. Daniel's call logs matched tasks assigned verbally. Body cam, confession, bank records, and a spreadsheet on an external drive, incident watch, with 87 targets color-coded and marked pending. Houses flagged for noise risk, visible children, surveillance potential. Ours and Eli's family were marked completed. Noah's was pending. When I took the folder to the board, they sat sweating under fluorescent lights. They had believed a woman with a clipboard, accepted her fines, and let her build a private enforcement machine. I filed civil suits, criminal referrals, and a petition to dissolve the current leadership. News crews smelled blood. Neighbors who once accepted fines for atrocious mailbox colors handed me binders. 73 residents signed a petition to dissolve the HOA's Emergency Enforcement Authority. The board resigned. Karen went from queen of bylaws to the subject of search warrants and frozen accounts. But this wasn't only legal victory, it was repair. We connected with Eli's family, the boy in ICU after Daniels chased him over a drone, with Noah's mother, who'd stayed silent for fear of eviction. Together, we filed a coordinated claim that made the pattern undeniable. The county pressed charges: impersonation, conspiracy, child endangerment, fraud. Karen's assets were frozen, her files seized. The spreadsheet that had been a weapon became the smoking gun. In the aftermath, the neighborhood breathed differently. Jack started building again, blueprints for Nerf turrets and snack compartments, and he laughed in the yard. We replaced fear with fences that actually kept people out, and we rewrote bylaws so one person couldn't weaponize them. Karen didn't apologize. People like her rarely do. But her kingdom was gone, fines voided, documents annulled, and a community that learned its power when it mattered most. What started as petty control ended in real harm. We turned the bureaucracy back into what it should be: